Good morning, family, friends, service members, veterans, reprimandos. Thank you for being here today as we celebrate the extraordinary life of my twin brother, Michael Scott Bashaw. Born October 22nd, 1986, in Newburyport, Massachusetts, Michael and I shared a bond that began before we were even born, a connection that only twins can truly understand. Michael was a man of an immense courage, boundless adventure, and deep compassion. His lighthearted, goofy, and fun-loving spirit brought us joy to everyone fortunate enough to know him. While Michael's journey included moments of profound challenge, today we gather to honor the remarkable legacy he leaves behind. From the laughter and adventure of our shared childhood to his distinguished service in the Navy, his dedicated career as a public servant, and his greatest role as a devoted husband and father. Michael's life is a testament to the power of love, faith, and enduring connection we share with one another. Growing up in a family of 5 siblings, life was always lively. Joey, our older brother, inspired us with adventurous spirit, sharing military badges and stories that sparked our imaginations and dreams of exploring the world. Melissa, our sister, brought creativity and joy, especially during the holidays when she convinced us to perform song and dance routines around the fire, filling our home with laughter. She held a special place in Michael's and my story, having been given the honor of naming us, Eminem, Mike and Mark. When Joey and Melissa left for their own adventures, it was just Michael, Corey, and I at home, the infamous Monkey Boys, as our uncles referred to us as. We were inseparable. Our favorite place to be was in the tree fort in the woods behind the house. A fort we built together with our dad. Solid and durable. I believe it still stands to this day, a testament of the time, effort, and teamwork we put into it. And Michael was always the last to leave the job site with my dad. Michael, Corey, and I shared an unquenchable love for adventure, especially on the water. At just 14, Michael and I became scuba certified, braving the frigid Atlantic on lobster hunting dives with our dad. In our later years, you'd find us ripping the old 14-foot Starcraft in the shallows of the Parker River on our way to the beaches. Thank God there were no smartphones in those days. Those dives and days were unforgettable, filled with excitement, teamwork, and discovery. Some of our best childhood memories, though, came from our camp in Maine at Davis Pond, where we spent days fishing, boating, swimming, and even ice fishing in negative 24-degree weather with our extended families and friends. Our mom and dad exposed us to so much of life's adventures, teaching us to climb mountains, hunt, fish, ice fish, boat, work with our hands, giving us loving support and opportunities for responsibility. With our neighbors and friends, we were constantly on the go. You'd never catch us inside reading a book. If you visited our house and glanced out the window, you'd almost certainly find one of us up in a tree or locked in a full-contact football battle in the front yard. Michael embraced these adventures wholeheartedly, carrying the lessons of teamwork, hard work, and dedication throughout his life. One of my favorite recent memories of Michael was watching him reel in a 45-inch striped bass on my dad's boat. The joy in his face was epic. A perfect reflection of his life, for love, adventure, and the thrill of a moment. Michael's early jobs showcased his strong work ethic and willingness to take on tough, hands-on tasks. His very first jobs were working with our dad at the house with all sorts of projects. In his teenage years, he was a busboy at Michael's Harborside, and from there, he took on farm work at Iron Moon Farm, and then later joined the Youth Conservation Corps at Parker River Fish and Wildlife. He loved being outdoors, embracing each challenge with determination and pride in a job well done. For a time, Michael lived in Maine with our Uncle John, where he found joy and fulfillment in the great outdoors. He worked as a whitewater rafting guide, sharing his love for adventure and the thrill of the rapids with others. These experiences in Maine deeply shaped Michael, fostering his appreciation for the wilderness and the beauty of nature, which would define him throughout his life. In 2008, Michael enlisted in the United States Navy. Michael's military service was a shining example of dedication and excellence. As an aviation warfare systems operator, second class, in the United States Navy, he mentored aircrew, coordinated critical flight operations, ensured qualification and readiness of enlisted flight personnel, and logged hundreds of flight hours on missions both overseas and stateside. He approached his responsibilities with unmatched professionalism, earning the admiration of his peers and commanding officers. Michael's service earned him accolades such as the Navy Marine Corps Achievement Medal, the Good Conduct Medal, Global War on Terrorism Medal, and the Navy Expert Pistol Shot Medal. Beyond these honors, he will be remembered for his leadership, initiative, and deep commitment to empowering others. After his service in the Navy, Michael continued to contribute to our country as a civil servant. He worked as an electrician on submarines at Portsmouth Naval Shipyard, ensuring the safety and reliability of some of our nation's most critical defense systems. Later, he transitioned to working on an airfield, working as an airfield management specialist at Grayling Army Airfield, where his technical expertise and attention to detail ensured smooth flight operations. Most recently, Michael served as an electrician with the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration, where he applied his skills to support essential missions of the agency. Michael's most cherished roles in life were as a father, a husband, and an uncle. He was an incredible father to his daughters, Emma and Michaela, loving them deeply and guiding them with a caring heart. He made sure he knew they were supported, cherished, and endlessly loved. As a husband, Michael was devoted to his family, always striving to provide a life filled with love, laughter, adventure, and resources. Michael's devotion to his family and his sense of duty made the profound struggles he faced in his final months even more heartbreaking. The challenges and concerns he carried were an immense burden he bore, often in silence. These concerns were not only his own, but reflected the failings of a broader system that too often leaves people isolated, unseen, and even silenced. Michael's struggles were also compounded by a medical system that prioritizes profits over people, one that slaps labels on people and coerces big pharma toxins, which exacerbate problems, resulting in alarming statistics of injury and death. These systemic failures left him isolated, silenced, and ultimately vulnerable to despair. Yet before the weight of his final struggles, Michael spoke with clarity about a vision of renewal, a hope that, quote, Jesus enters back into all our souls and heals ourselves in Mother Earth, end quote. His words, written during the summer before his passing, reflect his deep belief in the promises of Scripture, where Jesus brings restoration. In Revelation 21, verse 5, Jesus declares, quote, I am making everything anew, end quote. This promise aligns with Michael's hope for a future where brokenness is replaced with healing and darkness by light. Matthew 11:28 offers Jesus' invitation, quote, "Come to me, all you who are weary and burdened, and I will give you rest," end quote. Michael's life was a testament to love, integrity, hard work, and faith. From his adventurous spirit and devotion to family, to his service to others, he lived with purpose and heart. But perhaps what we will cherish most is his easygoing, goofy, and sometimes wonderfully sporadic nature. His ability to bring smiles and laughter to everyone around him, often in ways that caught us off guard. As we honor his memory, let us carry forward not only the love he shared and the values he lived by, but also his playful and spontaneous spirit that reminded us to find joy in the everyday moments. In his humor, his wit, and his lightheartedness, Michael taught us that life is meant to be lived fully and shared generously. Rest in peace, Michael. You're deeply loved, and your joyful spirit will live on with us forever. I love you, Michael.